still waiting for live. We're on? Mayor, we're ready to start.
All right. Call to order. Time is 6:10 p.m. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Use the flag up in the front corner here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Commissioner Clark?
Here.
Clerk Commissioner DeVille? Here. Mayor Jacobs?
Here.
We have quorum.
All right. Additions, deletions, withdrawals to the agenda.
None.
All right, seeing how there's none, we'll move to public comment. Public comments related to the agenda items, good and welfare. It's open to public comment. Comment, all right. On to new business. 6.1, posted millage rate of 8.5 mils. Town Manager Jimenez, Finance Director Taubenfeld.
Mr. Mayor, as you indicated right now, we are proposing to keep the millage rate the same at 8.5, and that represents a 7.82% increase over the rollback rate of 7.8833. And as far as budget detail, I will hand it over to Harry in case.
Say that again?
As far as the budget detail?
No, what you, go back.
Okay. We're keeping the millage rate the same at 8 point, we're proposing to keep the millage rate the same at 8.5. The rollback rate is 7.8833, and that's a 7.82% increase. And as far as the budget detail, if you have any questions, we went over it last week individually with each of you, but if there are any questions or any of the comments, Finance Director Taubenfeld is here.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission, Budget Finance Director Taubenfeld. Here to present to you the proposed annual budget for fiscal year 2022. As Town Manager mentioned, we did have brief meetings. We did have some meetings last few weeks to go over the budget. If there are any specific questions that you may have, I'm here to answer them now. If not, I can give you, if they need a brief presentation to rehash and review, I can do that as well. So, are there any questions?
Now, what's the 7.88 rollback?
The rollback rate, the way that works is each year we establish a rollback rate, right? Not a rollback rate, a millage rate. The town's millage rate has been 8.5 for a number of years now. As the way what the state does is, as property values go up or down, they establish a rollback rate, which that means, like, for example, this current budget year that we're in right now, our millage rate is 8.5, and the property value calculated for that year gives us X amount of revenue. Now, as property values go up, the revenue goes up with that when you keep that millage rate the same. So the rollback rate is the rate that's calculated that will give us the same amount of revenue that we've received in the current fiscal year. That means we'll receive the same amount of revenue the next year.
Get it now. Thanks.
No problem.
All right, so I guess I'll just go through the budget.
Yeah, go through it.
Sure. If we just scroll to Roman numeral page number 4 of the budget. Can you scroll down? Keep going. going. Keep going. One more. That's it. All right, what you have here is the summary for both the general fund and the enterprise fund for the upcoming fiscal year. The enterprise funds consist of the sewer and stormwater funds. Just here again, you have the summary. Just to rehash what the town manager Jimenez had mentioned, the proposed millage rate is 8.50. Based on that millage rate, we're estimating the ad valorem taxes at $7,063,000, which is about $450,000 more than the previous year. Some points to note here on this one, on this page here is in the middle of the page where it references the fund balance, reserves, net assets. The projected budget is showing a $242,000 shortfall. The amount is on par to what we presented to the commission last year, and just similar concept. These are capital projects, which we'll go into a little more detail later, that where the town incurs excess, does not have enough revenue to cover the expenses incurred for the projects. These are projects that are funded through outside sources, whether through FEMA or Broward County.
But and just a point of clarification, they're partially funded, and what that represents is the town's share of what needs to be covered.
Correct, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. Correct. If you continue on to the next page, this just goes on to add to what JC was saying as far as the rollback rate, just to give everybody the number, just to understand the numbers. Keep going. A little bit better. The number $6,939,429. That was what the proposed ad valorem was for last year. This year we're proposing $7,434,000. And based on what the manager stated, that's due to the increase in the property value. If we were to revert back to the previous year of $7,939,000, that's where the 7.883 rollback rate comes from. So just wanted to point that out to you. Continuing on to the next page.
What page is that?
This.
7.
Page 7. Here you have a rolling history of what was been a budget that's been adopted for the general fund for the 2 previous fiscal years and what we're proposing for the upcoming fiscal year. As you can see, we're proposing increased revenues over last year. And unfortunately, with that, we do have some additional expenses as well. But looking at the total number for the general fund, we are looking at a $13,175,683 budget for the general fund. What you have there are the summary totals for each of the individual line items. The detailed information is listed and, as we go through the report, and again, if there's any questions, we can discuss them at that time. As it relates to the revenue, and on the bottom piece of the page shows you the expenses by department as well, with all the detail, supporting documentation on the pages to follow. If there are any questions at this moment, I'll take them. If not, I'll continue. Nope? Okay, great. Continuing, which is actually 3 more pages down. At the top of the page should read Town of Pembroke Park Fiscal Year 2021 Budget Summary for the Enterprise Fund. Keep going. What you have here is a summary of the Enterprise Fund, broken out into 3 parts. First part being the Sewer Fund, breaking out the revenue and expenses. The middle of the page showing the Stormwater Fund, revenue and expenses, and then the combined revenue and expenses for the Sewer and Stormwater Fund. We are proposing a balanced budget for both the Sewer Stormwater funds for the upcoming fiscal year. Continuing on which would be another 3 more pages.
Page.
It's actually listed as page 9 of the document, but page 9 of the document that you have in front of you. The header reads General Fund Revenue. Do you have that, sir?
That's our,
Okay. Downloading also.
looks like that's.
Is it this? Is it?
Keep going. I guess I should have numbered. Nope. Keep going. 3 more pages.
It's page 15 on
There it
your
is, 15.
on the agenda packet.
Thank you, JC.
Sorry, the computer's a little slow.
Before we get to that page, I did want to make a quick comment. Speaking of the sewer, The city of Hollywood has informed us that they're going to be increasing our rates by 8.25%. So needless to say, that's going to put a strain on us. So we're going to be coming back to you. What we're doing is working with the county right now and coming back to you to propose a rate increase. The last increase was about 5 years ago.
Yes, fiscal 2017.
So in order to offset that balance, we'd have to adjust our rates accordingly.
Best guess estimate, this all came down today. We found out this information today. We're looking at approximately anywhere between $90,000 to $100,000 of additional expense to the city of Hollywood for the sewer. So that's something that we need to look to and address. Sir, are we able to find the page? Okay, great. So the header the page 8 should be on it. Should say general fund revenue. Again, here what you have here is the detail that makes up the summary pages that we previously saw. If there's any questions, we can go through them, but nothing really of major. I mean, there's no really major swings to note, other than the revenue within the building department. We're forecasting some additional revenue for the upcoming fiscal year with all the new construction that we're anticipating. So that's been factored in into the budget for next year. If there are no questions as it relates to the general fund revenue, we can continue on to the various departmental expenses. As you go through it, I'll answer any questions. If you need me to slow down, I could do that as well. But what I wanted to do, I guess, is really just highlight some of the one or two major expenses within each department. Obviously, we have our payroll, which has been discussed with everyone, and the payroll benefits, similar benefits as to what we've had in previous years. There's been a reduction in some of the benefits to the staff as it relates to the dental and vision and long-term disability. And we did receive a slight increase in the health insurance, but all in all, much better than what everybody here anticipated. All the new rates are factored in the numbers that you see here. So as it relates to the individual departmental expenses, starting with the commission budget, the major expense outside of payroll on this particular line item would be the contribution for the commissioner's pension fund. This is an estimated amount every year that we receive an annual report from the provider. The number we see here is this current year's estimate that the commission just recently approved. Continuing on to the administration department, again, it encompasses the salaries and the benefits. The one outside major expense as it relates to the operating expenditures are our fees for our HR consultant. That number, so everybody knows here, has been capped. She's agreed to not increase her rates. We normally pay a monthly fee per person. She has agreed to cap her fees going forward. So any new hires will not be charged to the town of Pembroke Park.
And the reason why she did that, should be noted, is as we bring on police officers, that number would go up higher and higher because per employee. But she has capped it at
90,000. Yep. Which potentially could save the town roughly $30,000 to $40,000 had she not made that necessary change. As it relates to the finance department, major expense is the annual audit. The expense of the upcoming fiscal year we have at $50,000, which is about $1,000 more than what we paid this year. You should be happy to know as well that this year we actually kicked off the audit today. We had I had my first meeting with the auditors this morning, and the audit for the current fiscal year has officially started. The goal, obviously, is to get that to have it done and completed by the March 31st deadline, which is the GFOA deadline, 2022. Moving on to the next department, which is legal. The legal department, the large expense there is for non-retainer legal services for potential litigation. So we have that as a placeholder. We're all hoping things are progressing smoothly. Hopefully we'll not have to use it, but we have a placeholder there as it relates to the legal department. Going on to planning and zoning, the large expense related to this department would be the contractual services for the economic development plan plan is to go out and get an economic development study for the town. So, if Heidi wants to talk about it, I guess you can discuss it at another time, but it's really to, a plan, company to come in and advise us as to, give us the best guess as to what kind of businesses what businesses the town will be able to attract moving forward as we try to develop the town. Next department would be non-departmental general government. Two major expenses as it relates to this department is our lobbying expense. No changes to what's transpired from previous years. That number totaling is $144,000. In addition, we have contractual services for computer-related services. There's about a $40,000 increase from previous years, just so everybody's aware as to what that is. A lot of that has to do with a lot of stuff that's been approved by the commission the previous year as it relates to moving, to the cloud, Office 365 for the town, as well as Laserfish, Sonic Wall, and cloud storage. So all the different things that IT has been working on to improve the network for the town. Moving forward, actually, before I move forward, are there any questions at this time? No? Keep going? Great. Next department that we'll discuss would be the police department, law enforcement. As previously discussed, this budget has been brought forward to the commission already and been approved. No changes from what's been previously approved by the commission. Moving forward, next department we have is fire rescue. This estimate amount for the upcoming fiscal year. We're hoping to we should be getting a finalized number, I was told this week. Not anticipating it to go any higher, but we'll know hopefully by sometime this week what the actual number is for the upcoming fiscal year. Moving forward, building department, as I mentioned earlier, with the increased revenue, but with the increased revenue obviously comes some expenses. We did have to hire some additional staff to take on the additional workload. And then obviously with the additional construction comes increased inspection fees. So that's where we're seeing the majority of the increases in expenses for the building department. Moving forward to code enforcement, not much to report there. Pretty much status quo year over year. So there's not really anything major. It's just, really not much to report. Moving forward, roads and streets. And the major item that was increased from previous years would be the maintenance on the equipment. With the deterioration of the equipment and seeing where we were this past year, we felt it was necessary to increase the amount for the upcoming fiscal year. We've also in discussions and trying to see what we can do to possibly improve the existing fleet. Hopefully we'll be able to maybe bring something forward in the next couple months. Next department we have is Parks and Recreations. No major changes here within the department. All the community events, the dollar amounts that were allocated in previous years were allocated again for this year. The same for the Agro-Eco Community Garden and Center. We've allocated the same dollar amounts year over year. The one additional expense that we incorporated into this department were the holiday decorations. I know that information was brought to you prior. So we included some monies for that for the upcoming holiday season. Moving forward.
One question, real quick, just
Sure.
the agro-eco part-time gardener, where is that?
That would be in the payroll, sir. That would be in the payroll. That's included in the payroll wages number within the Parks and Recs department. Moving on to the next department, we have capital machinery and equipment. Thought process here is to try to, with all the spending that transpired we had this year, we're trying to see, hopefully limit what has to be spent next year. So for most of the departments, we established a $5,000 limit for any machinery equipment. The other departments that have larger dollar amounts, starting with non-departmental, so everybody's aware of what the dollar amounts. The $85,000 represents two major projects that IT is working on, one being the transparency portal, which was a request that was made, and then the second phase of the GIS software to finish off phase one for the town, and then also include what's needed for the police department, which is included in phase two. Moving further down on the page, roads and streets, there's an allocation of some monies for a dump truck that is needed for the roads and streets department. And Parks and Recs has also requested some additional equipment for enable to them to do their daily tasks. Moving on to the next page, that would be the capital projects. As I mentioned earlier with JC's assistance, the projects that you see listed here are either are partially or fully funded, with the exception of one line item, which would be the town hall improvements. With all the new hires and all the moving parts that are occurring here in town, feel it's necessary, some changes, some adjustments need to be made to accommodate the personnel. So we've allocated some monies for that. But all the other items that you have listed here are either, as I mentioned, partially funded or funded through either a grant from FEMA or the MPO, Broward County. Going on to any questions? Nope. Okay, so that pretty much covers the general fund. Again, just to rehash you're looking at total revenue of $13,175,684, which includes a potential use of reserves of $242,384, $384. Moving on to the next page, we have the sewer fund, which is page 42 of the document. Broken out there, you have these charge for services that are billed through Broward County, as well as anticipated fees, additional fees for the sewer department, totaling $2,972,790 in forecasted revenue for the upcoming fiscal year. Going on to the expenses, again, at this point in time, we are presenting with a balanced budget that was prior to what the town manager, what we informed the commission just earlier regarding the increased rates. So that's something that we will be working on in the next week or so to update and give you a more accurate picture. But as you see right now, that the additional expense is not factored into the current budget. Again, when you factor in all the capital projects as well as the debt service, we're looking at a balanced budget of $2,972,790. Moving forward to the Stormwater Fund. Again, charge for services billed through Broward County, totaling $1,415,000. That's a forecasted estimated amount. We do have some projects listed within the Stormwater Fund. Again, these projects are either partially or fully funded. So we factor in that as well as the charge for services. We're looking at total revenue of $2,698,035. Once again, as I mentioned previously, we're presenting a balanced budget and looking at the expenses, nothing out of the ordinary again, with the exception of the projects. But again, balanced budget, $2,698,035. That's pretty much it. If there's any questions, I'm here to answer them. Nope.
I understand why, but in full transparency, the payroll isn't listed in the budget like it has been in the past.
Yes, the thought process here was felt that it was too much information, quite honestly, was being given out. I believe it was personal information was given out as far as types of insurances individuals were receiving. Something that it's definitely, if it's something that you guys want to put back in, we can put back in, but it's also readily available if a request were ever to be made, public request was ever to be made.
The way we've listed it is by position and salary, proposed salary. For
Correct. So if there are no questions, I'm sorry. My apologies.
Okay, so that information's still available by request.
Absolutely.
With the transparency software, how will that come out?
Come out as far as,
And when our budget comes up, will it be broken down by position on the website? Will it be broken down? How will it be listed like that?
not there yet. IT Director Pakula is the one that's been focusing and working on trying to find the actual system. We haven't even vetted anything yet. We've vetted a couple of companies, but we haven't put an RFQ together. This is something that we're planning to do in the first or second quarter of 2022. If you want to. Sure, he's here. Go ahead.
Mark Pakula, IT Director. The transparent portal will be designed how the commission wants it, along with JC, so we can take away, add as much detail or as less detail as the commission decides. So that'll all be designed when it's approved.
We're using the Tyler software, right?
Yes, but the transparency portal will work with Tyler software. It's part of, but it won't be the actual software.
Don't they have an add-on for it?
Yeah, that's basically what the transparency portal is. It'll
Okay.
work in tandem with that, and it'll pull right from that, so there's no work to be done from the finance department. And actually, just as the finance department uses Tyler, that information will automatically populate whatever fields we want to put in.
As far as the procurement of the transparency portal software itself, we're looking at options right now, so.
Yeah.
I think what the mayor was asking is if Tyler has a transparency portal option.
Not the one we're looking at, no. This one is pretty much the industry standard that we're looking at. It also helps in the budgeting. It also helps departments and department heads in presentations, things of that nature for their own budgets and numbers that they may be looking at. It works with Tyler. It also works with our GIS and a couple other things. Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
So what's the action we need next?
What I would do is take a vote. I mean, you had public comments already. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was asking Mr. Chair.
My apologies, sir.
It's okay, as long as he knows that I'm asking. You want to do,
We need to open public comment.
okay, so
Is there any comment from the public? No comment, and we'll close public comment. And I'll entertain a motion to adopt the proposed millage rate.
motion to adopt.
Wait.
Whoop,
I'm sorry. The other script you have there, I need you to read that one, please.
All right.
Sorry.
Close of hearing, Chair. By Florida law, 2 of the public hearings must be held and ultimately adopted for the final millage rates and annual budget for Pembroke Park. The proposed purpose of tonight's public hearing is to hear public comments regarding the proposed tentative millage rate and budget, amend the budget as desired by the Town Commission, and tentatively adopt the millage rate and town budget for fiscal year 2021-22. The first public hearing has been advertised through public notice, through the notice of proposed property tax mailed by the Property Appraiser's Office August to all Avalorum taxpayers. At this time, I will request the town manager and staff and the proposed tentative millage, and discuss the proposed tentative millage rate and budget for the fiscal year 2021. Staff discussion.
Yeah, we already
We
did
did
that.
that. Millage rate. Public comment. We will now hear public comment regarding the proposed tentative millage rate. Public comment. Town Commission, after the hearing of public comment, the Town Commission will open the floor for discussion by the Town Commission. Meeting will now be closed to the public comment and open for the Commission's discussion. Is there any discussion?
Motion to adopt?
Next.
Oh, okay.
You need a motion to adopt the millage rate. and then you're
I got that. I got that. The chair entertains a motion to approve a tentative millage rate for fiscal year 2021 as read.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Proposed
The
tentative.
proposed millage rate is 8.5
8.5
mils.
mils. Roll call.
Motion made by Commissioner Clark, seconded by Clerk Commissioner DeVille. Clerk Commissioner DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
motion passes 3-0.
Okay. Announcement. Statutory announcement of millage rates. Staff will now read the tentative millage rate into the public record. Staff announces
Just did that.
what is the aggregated millage rate of the increased, percent increased over the rollback millage rate.
If you want me to do that again, I will.
Nope, it's on the record, we're good. Tentative budget, all right. So, town commission approval of the tentative budget. The chair entertains a motion to approve the tentative, or the chair will entertain a motion to approve the tentative budget for fiscal 2021.
Motion to adopt.
21-22.
122.
Second.
Okay, now public comment. We will now open a public hearing for public comments regarding the proposed tentative budget. Anyone from the public would like to speak? No one from the public? Public comment is closed. We'll move to adopt the proposed tentative budget for all funds for fiscal year 2021-22 as presented by the commission, as presented to the commission by the town manager in an official capacity of the budget officer, and subsequently adjust the tentative budget of the commission.
Motion to
Second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Commissioner Clark, seconded by Clerk Commissioner DeVille. Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Clerk
Let's
Commissioner
do it.
DeVille.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
All right.
Oh,
Hold on, we're not
go
done
ahead,
yet.
Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
still got more here. Approve a final public hearing date and advertisement. The final public hearing to adopt the fiscal year 2021 millage rate and budget scheduled for Thursday, September 23rd at 6 p.m. I do have a motion to approve the final public hearing and authorize the staff to advertise tentative budget and hearing pursuant to Florida statutes. I'll need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve or adopt.
Second.
Discussion, and hold on a second because I'm checking my schedule again.
Yeah, the 23rd was already,
I realize, but
well, no, it was.
I'm not doing this a second time.
No, I understand, but it was
So-
already listed in the trim notice.
Okay,
It was
I
advertised.
get that, but I need to make sure it's here.
Okay,
I need to
sure.
make sure it's off because I'm not going to end up in another situation like this.
He's just checking it out.
I get
That's
it.
all.
I know.
This is a him and I discussion here over this,
Who?
okay? It's this JC and I discussion here.
Oh, JC,
I was
okay.
discussing it with JC.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll, roll call.
There's a motion to go ahead and advertise for the second budget hearing. Motion made by Commissioner Clark, seconded by Clerk Commissioner DeVille. Commissioner Clark?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay. Now, this is extremely confusing because you have this and this, so This has an adjournment here, but then we have discussion, commission reports, attorney reports, and town manager reports
I think
for the meeting.
That was left on because that's the format of the agenda. Is normal.
Okay, is there any discussion?
None.
Any commission reports? Attorney reports? Town manager reports? Any, well, there is announcements. Special magistrate hearing Wednesday, September 15th at 9 a.m. Workshop commission meeting Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021 at 6 p.m. The second budget hearing meeting Thursday, September 23rd, 2021 at 6 p.m. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Time is 6:45. Adjourn.